Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, we're going to do a guide on the Night Revenants faction wars. Actually, one of my Twitch viewers redeemed this as a kind of channel points redemption. He said, look, I love the faction wars series, really struggling with Night Revenants. Can you do a guide on it? And bam, used his points and here we are. So I've not done one of these for a little while. I've not done them because generally actually they get less views than most of my videos, but we're going to go into it today. I'm going to show you, don't know why it's doing that. Swap it around. I'm going to show you all about the Night Revenants. It's probably one of the hardest factions in the game to complete. And I'll go into that in a minute, but this is what I look for. So when I'm looking for my faction war teams, what do I want to find within the team? What do I need to make sure I get 3 stars consistently? I need someone that can drop the defense of the enemy. This is really crucial, and Night Revenants do not have this in abundance. I want crowd control, so stuns, sleeps, any way that I can stop them having a turn, freezes, anything like that is insanely strong for faction wars. I'd like some sort of healing. I'd love some sort of revive. That's very short supply in this faction. Obviously, we want damage to get through the mobs. And then we want turn meter control. A lot of the bosses, you need turn meter control to make sure that you've got a chance to complete them. So these are the main things I'm looking for. Now, in terms of Night Revenants, we lack a lot of that stuff. We really do. So if I kind of come up uncommons upwards, uncommons are all absolutely shockingly bad. All trash. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. There's nothing here which I'm interested in at all for faction wars. Literally, I mean ally protection, but it's not. There's nothing here. Nothing here at all. So we then come into the rares, and you're thinking, well, there must be a couple of rares that do some of those jobs I've just spoken about, yeah? And there's not a rare that's got any sort of consistent decreased defense mechanic. I think we've got a couple of single target decreased defenses. Not this one. Or do we? Maybe it's actually, no, I think it's in epics. No, so I don't think we've got any consistent decreased defense champs. Certainly not on an AoE. My kind of call outs, I guess, for rares would be Gladiator. Does bring a decreased attack on one champion. It's okay. This is what I like about him. He brings 2 random stuns. If you book him up, 100% chance to stun twice. Has 80% chance of placing the stun debuff if the target's turn meter is above or equal to 75%. So it's still kind of like an extra niggle in there to see if it's going to happen or not. But this is probably one of the best CCs in this faction for rares. And it's got an AoE on his A3. Acolyte's kind of cool. Brings self-turn meter feel. Chance to drop the enemy's turn meter by 50%. You can book that up to what? 90%. 90% chance to drop the target's turn meter by 50%. This is pretty cool for bosses to try and keep his turn meter down. But it's on, what, a 4-turn cooldown? It's okay. And then he's got a cleanse as well. So actually, and he's defense-based. He's pretty good. He's pretty good for this faction. And then Guardian I like as well. So Guardian has got a chance to decrease buffs. So 50% chance of decreasing duration of all enemy buffs. Think about stuff like the Vault waves where they throw out their counterattacks. He could rip all of those buffs off, and it's quite a high chance for a rare. So this guy should not be slept on. He also can throw out block buffs. So if you get him out there early, he puts block buffs out there and stops the problem before it starts. And then he also has got block debuffs and counterattack on himself and a heal on himself. He's kind of cool, actually, for faction wars. So he could be in teams. Otherwise, we are struggling for rares. There's another thing with Night Revenants is generally the builds of the champions have got a weak amount of defense. 848, 800, 936, 848. Unless they are a defense-based champion, 936, their defense numbers are really low in this faction. It's just like a trait, I guess. They've done it as a trait. But that is not easy for faction wars because the majority of your champions are hard to keep alive. So We don't really have any strong champs in rares. We've got a couple which do some jobs for us, but not a lot. So we then move up to epics, and if I'm honest, we still don't have that decreased defense consistent champ in an epic, which means that Tomb Lord as a legendary becomes godlike for this faction. He's the only one that applies decreased defense consistently in Faction Wars in this whole faction. So that is... It's kind of shocking, actually, that you need to get a legendary to do that consistently. There's a couple of champions here that do it single target. So we've got Necro does it single target. There is a way to get this to work. What's this one here? 50% chance of placing decreased defense if they're already stunned. So he's kind of got one way of doing it. That's about your lot. It's really, we've got a couple of random ones here. Crypt Witch might end up being kind of MVP for a lot of people, even though she's a shocking champ, because she does ignore defense and she can drop a couple of people's defense, and she's got a speed aura. So she's actually kind of good for Faction Wars and kind of a necessity if you do not have Tomb Lord. So decreased defense kind of goes out the window. And if decreased defense is out the window, you need more control. You need more control. And actually, there's not a whole lot of control either. There's not a whole lot of control either. Unless we get up to legendaries and you've got Solus, you are struggling for control. So it tends to get to the point where you need Miscreated Monster doing his stuns on his A2. He's MVP for this faction. If you've got Skull Crown or Sinacia, they do a bunch of AoEs. If you can get them in stun sets, which I'm going to show you in a minute, then they can do control for you. But this faction becomes very difficult to deal with because there's a real lack of control champions and decreased defense champions. So two of the vital things that you need to do Faction Wars are missing. You then think of the third and fourth thing, really. So if you can't kill people quickly because you can't drop their defense and you can't control them well enough, you need to sustain. You need to sustain damage, which means you need heals and shields. Now, we do have a shield champion and a heal champion here in Miscreated. Well, more of a shield than a heal, really. He heals himself. But he's got allied protection as well. As I say, he's totally MVP for this faction because he can get you through tons of it. But other than him, Doom Priest is good to bring those cleanses, and she brings a consistent heal. But it's not a big one. It's not a big one. And there are no revive champions in the Epic group. Unless I'm missing something. There are no revives. There's also no revives in the legendaries. So it gets to the point where you're looking at this saying, well, what does my team become? And how do I beat these bosses? And it's one of the hardest, as I said. Now, before you get onto bosses, you can check to see what you're up against. So this link here, if you go into my Discord, in my Discord, under Faction Wars section, wherever it is, there's so many sections now. Faction Wars here. This is a pinned comment. You can go into pinned messages and you'll see this little grid. This is what we're talking about now. So you can click into it and then you can see what do all of the different bosses do. So before you go in to start a fight, you can look at it and say, right, what am I up against on this boss? So let's have a look quickly at the Faction War. Let's see what we've got. So for Night Revenants, we've got Stage 7 is the red boss. So let's have a look at the red boss. So the red boss here, so he's got an attack one enemy, ignores defense. Well, that's actually not too bad because these guys have got rubbish defense anyway. So he's going to ignore very little. And you can actually just pump your HP level up high to deal with this. So high HP champs deal well with this boss. Removes all debuffs from this champion. So he cleanses himself. Places a true fear debuff on a random enemy and places a stun on everyone else. These debuffs cannot be resisted, and he does another turn. And then he's got this other one where he fills turn meter for every 1% of HP he loses. Okay, so what's good here? Basically what you want is poison damage is very strong because it doesn't trigger this. So poison can do well. You would like someone that's got block debuffs to deal with this move. And you want to go high HP to deal with this. But at level 7, he's not going to be absolutely crucifying you. So it's just a kind of blend of trying to drop his turn meter, trying to block debuffs on his abilities, or at least cleanse them. So Doom Priest becomes insanely strong here. She has a turn. she cleanses everyone else's debuff off, and they all get to have their go. So that side of it is kind of cool. Doom Priest MVP. And just remember, he cleanses himself. So don't throw out, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, so don't throw out all your big abilities just before he does his personal cleanse. Otherwise, you're wasting them. Okay, so that boss is not too bad. He's one of the easier bosses to face, I think, as long as you can get your HP levels up high. The second boss then is the green boss. Let's just see what we've got here. Green boss. Attacks one enemy, places a poison. I love this one because it's probably one of the weakest A1s. Decreases the target's turn meter by 35%. Now, if you can build your resistance up, this won't land. Resistance is actually really strong in Faction Wars. So if you can take your resistance up above like 200, then you're not going to be getting the drop turn meter or the poison debuff. He's then got an A2, which attacks all enemies. My dog's about to go nuts in the background for some reason. Don't know why. Places a True Fear debuff for 1 turn. Also places a poison debuff for 3 turns and decreases turn meter. So all of that is nasty stuff. It's going to... Basically what this boss does is a lot of tick damage. Again, Doom Priest is your savior here. If you've got Doom Priest, this boss is easy because she cleanses all of this crap off. There's the last one as well. It's an HP burn. So an HP burn every time someone hits. What you want is your Doom Priest going much faster than the rest of your team. She'll cleanse all that stuff off. If you don't have Doom Priest, then you probably need Lifesteal set on everybody. Lifesteal set on everyone. If you can get resistance into your builds as well, I would do it. It's actually, because there's not many of those champs which give you the cool debuffs, you don't really need that much accuracy in this group. So it might be that you can go lifesteal and use something like a resistance banner or a couple of pieces of resistance set. But or if you've got a Sepulchre, she does have block debuffs, which is really strong here as well. So a group block debuff ability is very strong in this. I think there might have been, was there one of the rares that did that as well? Block debuffs, but just on himself, I think. Yeah, no, I don't think so. So yeah, so Sepulchre MVP here, Mistreated Monster MVP, and Doom Priest MVPs. They're like the bread and butter champs. So we're going to go in and fight against the final boss. I did this live on stream the other day. It was one that I hadn't completed yet, so it's kind of cool for me to be able to build this out. And yeah, let's take him on. So we've got the purple boss here, Void Affinity. I think they all are actually. Purple boss, Void Affinity. So attacks all enemies. Got a chance to place the Fear for 1 turn. This chance increases by 15% for each buff placed on this champion. Attacks all enemies, steals all buffs from all enemies, then transfers all debuffs. So this is on a 3-turn cooldown. You just need to make sure that you run down your buffs at the right time. And then he's got this exchanges HP. So basically what you have to do is you have to kill the ads, kill him once, wait till he steals his health back, and then kill him again. That's the kind of rule of this one. So it's quite a long fight, but not one of the worst ones, I'd say. Not one of the worst bosses. I'll show you. So this is the 5 that I used to clear it for the first time. I've got a Sinacia, I've got a Skull Crown, I've got drop defense and drop attack. So I'm lucky I do have my Tomb Lord. I've got cleanse and heal, also in a shield set. I'll show you the gear in a second. Mistreated Monster for stuns and for healing and support. And then we've got 2 nukers, both in stun sets, to try and get through Wave 2. Wave 2 is easily the hardest here. I failed on Wave 2 a few times, I'll be honest. I didn't just cruise through this one. This was hard. Because you don't have the guaranteed stuns and that type of stuff. So let me show you my way I've geared everybody here. So Mistreated Monster, high health, 60 odd K, good speed, high crit rate, high accuracy. I want him to land his stuns. I want him to go quickly and go often. And I want him to do a bit of damage when he does his hits. We've then got Sinacia in a stun set. So Sinacia, high crit damage, good health, high speed. That's it. Don't care about accuracy. I've got some resistance on her just to try and avoid some of the debuffs and stuff. Doom Priest. I'm actually, just as I'm talking, I feel like this should be a resistance banner. If it was, I might actually just do a bit more work. I've got one sitting right there. Perfect. So we've got high speed. I want it to be fast. I want it to rotate those cleanses as often as possible. She's not going to do damage. I just want her to stay alive. High defense, high health, high speed, and then some resistance now in her build. So she's stronger than she was. Stupid dog is off again. I've got then Tomb Lord. So Tomb Lord should be faster than everyone else, actually. He's just to drop that defense earlier. So at the moment, he's got high health, good speed, a bit of crit. He needs crit rate to land extra poisons, and then high accuracy. I could just do with him being a bit faster, actually. So let's see if I've got a different chest for him. I can just throw on for this. Maybe take this one. Okay. And then last but not least, we had... Who else do we have? Where are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I showed them all, did I? Oh, Skull Crown. Skull Crown, stun set. This is my second Skull Crown. She's in the stun set rather than full damage. She does have enough accuracy to land her weaken, if I can get that off. She's got good speed, reasonable amount of attack, reasonable amount of crit and crit damage. So I'd love for her, maybe I should have her in crit rate gloves probably, because she's not full crit. That would be sensible. So something like this might be a better build. For her. Okay, so let's get into this then. As I say, I didn't do this first time. I might not do it first time here. I'm just going to show you the kind of different waves quickly. So we slam out the weaken. Now, what you need to do here is get some people nearly dead. And you need your abilities back for the next wave. The next wave is the hardest part of this whole fight. So we're going big damage here from my Senacia. Now I've got to be careful because I don't want to start killing everybody straight out. I want to get back my decreased defense on my Tomb Lord. So we're going to try and get stuns off with our stun sets. 1, 2, 3 off. I've got 4 turns to kind of work through here. So I'm just going to go A1, drop some turn meter here with this. He can land decreased defense on people that have got stun, but they've already got it on, so I don't care about that. So I'm just going to try an A1 stun with my miscreated. Didn't land it. A1 again. Just working through some people. I know that I've got AoE damage coming in Senacia, and she hits really hard. So another stun off there. That's good. And we're just kind of slowly work our way through. Drop turn meter. She's going to kill her. She might even do some damage over here. That's good. Okay, so we can try and get a stun off on one of these decreased defense people because of his passive on his A1. Well, not passive, it's just his ability. 50% chance to do it. Didn't do it. He's stunned up. Don't care about him. And you can just see I'm working my way through. Got another stun there. So now I'm focused on these two. And I'm not going to use this now. I want to keep that. Hopefully I get a stun. I did. So we've only got one threat now. So he's now my target. And slowly but surely, we're just kind of working our way through the wave, yeah? And I'm getting close to having his ability back for wave 2. It's crucial that I've got that for wave 2. Wave 2 is a nightmare. It's so hard. I could nuke here. I don't really need to. I'm just going to keep... So I've got my ability back here. That's cool. I think just keep working on Black Knight. Should kill him here. Not quite. Should kill him here then, should I? No, I've got the stun off though, so we'll go somewhere else. And you can see I'm just working my way through one by one. I'm putting decreased speed out there. And it's all about control. Control, control, control. Don't let them do what they want to do. Another stun goes off. Perfect. She's now the threat. And she is actually quite a significant threat here because she can put out that counter attack. I'm wondering whether I should drop the nukes and finish her off. I probably won't finish her off, actually. So we could be under some threat now. Even dropping the nukes, we didn't finish her off. We do get a stun off, though. That's cool. We are going to get all of this stuff cleansed from Doom Priest. That's why she's so good. And we're fine. Okay, so cool. So it's taken us nearly 3 minutes to get through this wave. Hope you're still with me. I won't show you the full wave for the next one. It gets a bit dull. But basically what we've got here now is this is the hardest wave. So I'm going to get my attack up. I'm going to drop nukes and hopefully get weakens and some stuns. I got 1 stun. We're going to drop defense. I don't want to buff myself too much. As soon as I start buffing, all of these Valks get extra turn meter. So we're going to hopefully land a bunch of stuns here and get big shields. Stuns on the Valks is what I'm after. So we didn't get enough stuns. It's made this really difficult. Really difficult. Everyone's got like no damage taken on and all that sort of stuff. They've got counter attacks. They're going to hit me hard. And I've got people that do AoE damage. So we're going to get counter attacked by everyone. And this is the hardest part. So I think it might even been that I had to reset sometimes when I didn't get any stuns off. He can come in here and just spread some poison. At this point, I don't want to be hitting with an AoE hit because I'm not going to hit anyone. I'm just going to take a ton of damage. So I'm just going to go single target here. Try and drop him. Sooner I drop someone, the better. Get my ally protection on. And just hope I can outlive all of this damage that's coming in for now. Have to AoE here. This is the trouble with your Skull Crowns, your Tenacious. They AoE and you can't do a lot about it. So we've got now, what, 1, 2, 3. We've got plenty of people now that can actually take damage, which is good. We've got continuous heal coming on here. He's dropped. We're going to go single target and just try and drop some turn meter on one of these Valks. I should have checked really. I think one of them still hasn't done their AoE yet. Got a stun off there though, that's good. I could just come in with the nukes. I think I will. She's got a revive, so she does have a way to bring herself back to life. And obviously we've got the immortality thing here. What I'm doing now is I'm actually targeting... no, I'm going to target one of these Fear guys because Fear's got 50% chance of no counter-attack. Didn't get it. Fear only works 50% in your favour when you don't want it to. So hopefully we get some stuns off here. There we go, double stun. So all the Valks are stunned for a minute. And we carry on. So I'm going to carry on, work way through this wave, and then I'll show you the boss. Okay, so we've cleared through the wave. It's taken us now, what, 6 minutes to get to the boss. Now, with the boss, as I said in the kind of pre-chat, there's kind of a few phases to this. So all of his abilities are off cooldown at the start. He will not use his A3 until he's at this line here. When he's at this line, he's going to steal somebody's health, pretty much one-shot them, apart from a tiny amount. And then you've got 12 turns to kill him after that. So you don't want to worry about him at the start. All you want to worry about is the ads. He is going to steal your buffs on the first turn. So all of these buffs here, I've got these kind of shields, lovely shields I've got here he's going to take. I'm not even worried about him. All I'm worried about is controlling the ads so that they don't do a ton of damage to me as well. So we're just going to go in one by one on the ads. Could have done with my drop defense, but saying that, he's going to cleanse that off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to try and get stuns off, really. So if I can get stuns off on the ads, it just gives me a bit of breathing space. Don't care about all of this yet. Just an A1 here. Trying to get stuns off. We can just heal up for our Doom Priest, so that's fine. He's now got a 3-turn cooldown on this. So she's just got her provokes off. Doesn't even really matter, actually, because the provokes do very little. Doom Priest will just cleanse those straight off. But you can see I'm just one by one picking up the ads as I need to. Trying to get the stuns off. We're not landing many stuns, actually. When I did this first time around, we got a ton of stuns. Doesn't really matter, though, because we just cleanse off anything they're putting on us. He cannot cleanse off decreased defense for a while, so we're going to drop that on him and just get some more damage on these guys. And my only risk here is am I staying alive for long enough? So this Skull Crown's in trouble. We do have some healing from Tenacious. We do have some healing from Doom Priest. And we got protection from our big boy. Big boy, miscreated monster. So he's just actually stealing all his stuff. Again, it doesn't really matter. Oh, no, I lost him. Did matter until I just lost someone. So we're not doing a free start. I did free start when I did it, obviously, first time round. I put ally protection on at a terrible time. Don't put ally protection on when he's about to do that. He's going to kill you. However, I'm still probably going to do it. So I'm not going to free start, but I should still do it. Now what I'm doing is dropping his health to this point. Let him regen his health. I'll make sure that I don't have buffs on at the point where this is on cooldown. And I just try and cleanse off the fears with Doom Priest in between. So I'll cut here, I'll bring it back to this point, and then you can kind of see it from there. Okay, so here we go. We've got him to do his lifesteal thing. He stole a good chunk of my health. He can't one-shot you because he's stealing from here. So unless you're low on health, he won't one-shot anyone. But at this point, I've now got a 12-turn cycle to kill him. That's the point here. Everything else is done. I've just got to kill him within 12 turns while still controlling all of my buffs and stuff like that in line with this. Actually, Tomb Lord's in trouble. Tomb Lord, I'm worried about because he is actually really important in my team here for this. Don't kill him, don't kill him. Okay, cool. So, and then it's a case of biding your time. 12 turns, can you do it or not? Have you brought enough damage with you? You know, things like your drop defense here become really important. His drop defense will also drop the turn meter when you get past 50%. So that's why he's so valuable in this fight. But we are taking a bunch of damage. I need the big heal from my Synacia. Hopefully that's back. And it's not back for a while. So Tomb Lord's in massive trouble. Massive trouble. He's probably dead. Oh, wow. It's close. It's close. Are we going to do it? So she does heal with this, and she will heal him. So that's kind of given me a lifeline. We're getting close to that 50%. He's going to steal all buffs in a minute, so I'm not going to do any buffs at this stage. I don't want to throw poisons back at me, so again, I'm sending away one here. Don't die. Good. Every turn, it's like, don't die. Don't die, please. Get my buffs going again. I can now heal up and get myself some balance. So what I can do now, I can go A2 here and get my poisons out there. And then next turn, because he's less than 50% health now I'm going to be able to drop his turn meter on the next turn. That's where Tomb Lord becomes even better. So this here ability will drop that turn meter back down again. So I'm going to drop his defense and he'll get another go. And that's where he starts to become really clutch. Gets a decreased speed out as well. Didn't actually land drop defense, which is annoying. That's a big part of what I wanted him to land. But you can see here, it's just like slowly but surely, 7 turns to go. We're easily going to do it within the 7 turns. It's a shame Miscreating Monster decided to have a rest because we would have got the full 3 stars. But I don't need 3 stars now. It doesn't make any difference to me because I've completed it once. It's just like it would have been nice for the video to show you that I can actually do it. But you can see it's just a long fight, 15 minutes. I certainly will not be spending any time in here from now on. I do it once and then I just farm level 20 on auto because that's just a way better use of my time. And this is definitely, I think it's definitely a manual run. I've never tried it on auto. I don't think these guys would have any sort of brain power on auto. But you see here, we've got this ability again. It looks like he's going to have his go. Not just yet, friend. Not just yet. There goes your turn meter. Have a bunch of poison to go with it. And then this is job done. So really tough faction, guys. As I say, it's one of the hardest ones to complete. And it's very champion dependent. Hope that was useful. Hope it's helpful. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.